public. Probation would certainly not adequately punish you and would demean what's happened in this case throughout your history. The other thing I want to mention is not only you steal from people, but you lie to people. You make up this whole thing about this cancer and you're dying and you're trying to gain sympathy from people.
This case is not just another courtroom hearing. It's a full-blown story of betrayal, fraud, and shocking deception stretching over decades. A woman accused of stealing from people she trusted and allegedly faking a deadly illness to gain sympathy from the court itself. But what happens when a judge finally loses patience? What happens when mercy runs out and consequences kick in? Stay tuned, because this sentencing hearing takes a very explosive turn.
Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Strickland, on that case that you were on supervision for, you understand you're entitled to have a hearing?
So right away, we're seeing this isn't a simple sentencing. The court is dealing with multiple victims, multiple cases, and a probation violation layered on top of fresh allegations. What's important here is the defendant is already choosing to admit the violation instead of fighting it in a full hearing. Legally, that's huge. It speeds things up, but it also removes her chance to challenge evidence. The real question now is, does admitting guilt help her, or does it actually make her sentencing even worse?
Which case? Is that
on the new case? On the new case.
That was one of the victims, right?
It was
there were multiple victims.
Correct. So we have 3 businesses that were victims because the checks were cashed at their location, but the checks were stolen from a gentleman who's passed away, and this is his daughter that is here in court today. And like I said, she spoke to you last time as well. So, Judge, you want me to speak to sentencing on both cases?
Yes.
Okay. So I know you've had a chance to, you're well aware of Ms. Strickland's record. It is not an exaggeration to say she's a lifelong thief. She is someone who...
Now the prosecution comes in with some heavy language, calling this a pattern, not a mistake. They're not just describing isolated incidents. They're painting a picture of long-term behavior involving multiple victims, stolen checks, and financial fraud tied to real businesses. And when prosecutors say someone is a lifelong thief, that's not emotional wording. That's a strategic argument to show the court this isn't reformable behavior. The goal here is clear: push the judge toward prison time instead of probation.
The option for her is to be sent to prison so she can not be in the community harming other people. So the state would ask the court to impose a prison sentence in this case. I think that would be the appropriate outcome.
Anything from probation?
Nothing in addition to what was discussed in chambers.
Anything on behalf of the defendant?
Your Honor, at this time, Ms. Strickland has provided a restitution amount to my office, which has been placed in a trust account, and my office has written a check for the Warren County Clerk of Courts for the amount of $4,000.
The defense tries to shift the tone here, bringing in restitution, rehab certificates, and medical documentation. This is a classic mitigation strategy. Show effort, show compliance, show rehabilitation steps. But in cases like this, the court doesn't just look at what you bring today. It looks at your history. And the key tension here is whether small steps toward accountability can outweigh decades of alleged fraud and repeated violations. Do these documents actually change the outcome, or are they too little, too late?
Ms. Strickland, is there anything you'd like to say?
Is there anything you would like to say?
I'm sorry for everything I've done, past and future.
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry for the stuff I've done from the past and future, and I'm reaching out for help.
Ms. Strickland, you started your criminal offenses back in 1990 down in Kentucky, right?
Yes.
1990, this is 2026. That's 36 years of you stealing from people. Have you ever had something stolen from you?
Yes.
Not a good feeling, is it?
It's bad.
Especially when you steal from people that are your family, friends, and people that have placed trust in you. And you turn around and steal from them. Horrible feeling. It really causes people to just distrust their neighbor more and more. This is pretty disgusting. And quite frankly, you did this last one with the stealing the checks and stuff. I guess it happened just before I sentenced you, so while you're awaiting sentencing on this, one felony theft case, you go and do it again to multiple people. It's pretty aggravating. So at this time, the court is going to find that you are, I've considered.
This is the turning point of the entire hearing. The judge essentially dismantles the defendant's credibility in real time, not just focusing on theft, but also highlighting alleged emotional manipulation involving a fake cancer claim. In legal terms, this is devastating because it attacks both character and credibility at once. And when a judge starts talking about patterns of deception spanning decades, it signals one thing clearly. The court has already stopped believing in reform and is now focused purely on protection of the public.
But your extensive criminal history, you haven't responded to previous sanctions, and this last opportunity, you went out and you just did it again. And I think you'll continue to steal from people because that's just who you are. So, gotta make sure I get this right. Under case number 42112, the court is going to order you to serve 9 months in prison. Under case number 42654, the court is going to order you to serve 12 months in prison on count 1, and then 12 months in prison on the remaining 3 counts of forgery. The 12 months on and I don't know, the count numbers are 3, 5, and 7, I believe.
That's correct, Judge.
Those will all be served concurrent with count 1. But count 1 will be served consecutive to your sentence in case number 42112. The court does find a consecutive sentence is necessary to punish you and to protect the public. It is not disproportionate to the conduct or the danger that you pose to them. And your criminal history demonstrates that a consecutive sentence is necessary to protect the public. You are also subject to a discretionary period of post-release control, which means when you are released, the adult parole authority may supervise you for up to 2 years. If you violate that supervision, the adult parole authority can return you to prison for up to 1/2 of this court's original sentence. If your violation is that you commit another felony, you can be returned to prison for 1 year, or the period that you have left on PRC, whichever is longer, that time would run consecutive to any additional prison time you get sentenced to. What's a jail time credit?
137 days, Judge.
137 days, all of that applied to case number 42112. Other than that, the court finds that you're indigent for the purpose of any fines, costs, or financial sanctions. The court will accept the restitution payment today that you have paid on that. And I think that's all on the first case, right?
I'm sorry.
That's all on the first case?
The restitution amount?
Or is that all of it?
It's for both.
For all of it,
Okay.
Your Honor.
All right. So there will be no restitution ordered at this time. There may be opportunities for you to receive up to 1 day per month for participating in certain.
So the final outcome is clear. Prison sentences across multiple cases, some running concurrently and others consecutively, with additional post-release supervision. The court emphasizes punishment, deterrence, and public protection, making it clear that probation is no longer an option. This case raises a bigger question. At what point does a pattern of repeated fraud stop being fixable and start becoming permanent in the eyes of the justice system?
Justin, take it.